product or platform like BizTalk solved back in the days, those problems, I would say, does not exist anymore. Back in the days, you had flow of data going through your company in and out, and you needed one way to kind of keep control of that.
Yes.
So you put the BizTalk box in the middle, and you connect everything to BizTalk, and you have solved that problem. Now you can see all your data flows. You ended up with one box in the middle that everybody's really afraid to touch. One technology that came along, for example, was centralized logging. So your systems could log to one place, regardless where they ran.
Exactly, yeah.
So you could put your systems wherever you want, but you can see what they did in one place. And that basically solved the same problem as having one central platform. So I would say that centralized logging killed platforms like BizTalk.
Action. So we sit here with Mats Iremark in today's episode of Integration Love Story live at our office here in Gothenburg. So first and foremost, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
We saw in the questions that we sent earlier that we asked question when you were in Seattle. So yes. It was some time ago. So you're a hard man to get.
yeah, it's been a while since.
We tried to get this recorded before the summer, but for various reasons we had to postpone it.
But we're glad to have you. And we always start the first question with you introducing yourself to the audience that don't know you, of course, in a tech perspective, but also who you are outside of tech.
Outside of tech. Okay, I'll try. Yeah, so my name is Mats Iremark. Right now, I work as the CTO of Hedin IT. Most people don't know Hedin IT. They know Hedin Bil or Hedin Automotive.
Yeah.
Hedin IT is like the IT company within Hedin Mobility Group. So we have a presence in 14 European countries.
So it's not a department; it's a company within the company.
Yeah, it's a company within the group.
Okay.
But you could say that it's the department of the. So yeah, I'm the CTO at the IT company in the group, which employs like 12,000 employees.
Okay, that's a lot of work.
Yeah, but lots of mechanics and stuff. So. Before that, I've also been working at SKF, Volvo Cars. I was working at Collector Bank a couple of years ago. I have a background in system integration. I worked at a company called Eman. We're specialists in system integration.
My first work in integration.
Yeah. Yeah. And I also know some people here at Contica from my background as a professional poker player. So if you have questions, you're welcome to.
Yeah, I have a lot of questions about that. I do play it. I never played professionally.
No?
Like never.
Few have.
Huh?
Few people have.
Yeah, few people. Yes. Yeah, but like I myself, I only played with some friends in like somewhere, and we just played for fun.
Yeah, I'm never invited to these kind of friendly places.
I wonder why. But okay, so Volvo, SKF. I mean, was it something particular that like directed you to Hedin IT, or what was?
I was contacted by Hedin. I had some previous colleagues working there, and they wanted me to have that role, which I have today, and it sounded really interesting. I have been working in various roles in like traditional engineering, architecture, system integration, but I never been the CTO of a company before. And wanted to test what is different in that role.
And what is different?
Yeah, good question. No, so I like the role because I have a lot of freedom. I get to do both technical stuff, but also how that connects to business and management and people. Being involved in like a little bit of everything. That's where I enjoy
have
my
the same
time.
role, but not at the same scale you have. So I just have a follow-up question on that, since it's a quite complicated role, and because you have power on the technical and the choices you make it affects a lot of things, and how there is a perspective there where you actually look at technology and choices that you make. That is okay. Is it my personal because I like this kind of technologies, or is it because it's right?
Yeah.
How do you approach those things?
I always choose what I like. I have that internal discussion myself, and you have to be really careful there that you don't fall into the trap that you choose something just because you personally like it or you have worked with it before, and that is it is really hard to kind of get that. To put yourself in that perspective where you don't take previous experience or that you're kind of trying to win a fight by picking one technology over another. But then in the end, it's like people combined with technology that makes some kind of success, and you have to find people who knows some technology and they will produce something. If you choose some people and the best technology but they don't know that technology, it will not
Well,
work.
like, okay, good. Then I have a follow-up question to that question. To the follow-up question.
Dig deep now.
I'm zooming in. How often do you feel like, I don't really think that I'm choosing the right thing here? So what we know now is not good tomorrow. I usually have my own routine for reflecting on that. So I usually go for like specific people and I consult with them. But what's your approach to actually question yourself, your decisions?
I try to do that like every day. And these days you're using ChatGPT to like this is what I think of. Give me feedback on things. Try to look from other perspectives. So you get a lot of that for free today. But in general, you need to always make decisions every day on the direction that you're taking. Revisit choices for sure. One like fundamental thing both within software engineering and decision making is that you need to be able to embrace change. Have a design that the first criteria is it easy to change. And okay, sometimes you make choices that are hard to change. Those needs to be really carefully thought. But if you make choices that are easy to change, your road ahead will be so much easier.
But then I think we should jump to like your history in system integration. We talked a bit before, and I know that you have a history with BizTalk, and very early on, you were yourself in Seattle when they launched like Logic Apps and everything that we see from our side of things now. Like we see BizTalk companies, we see a lot of new stuff happening in Azure, and that's our part in this, where we are consultants in those technologies. But tell us about your story about Microsoft technology in a system integration perspective.
Okay, I was studying physics at university. I dropped out and started to play professional poker. Did that for 6-7 years. Then I got bored of that. It did not pay as much as it used to, and for various reasons I looked for a job, and I just ended up for various reasons working with system integration. I had not been coding anything for 6-7 years, but I actually got a job in system integration specialist company. And I was just into, okay, you are supposed to work with BizTalk and build integrations. And some things that I'm very grateful from that time and from working with system integration is that you learned things like event-driven, working with message-based system, principles like loosely coupled systems, and those has been invaluable lessons for me, and that I got those right from the first day. But I worked with BizTalk. That was like the way to build software for me. I had not seen anything else before. So if you were to build software, you did it with BizTalk.
that was it.
That was it. And it was really fun. I mean, it was a little bit of drag and drop and some code and some configuration. It was quite easy to get started with. If we keep to the Microsoft domain, I did work with BizTalk for a couple of years. Then Azure kind of came along, and at the company then we used Azure to kind of set up test environments for BizTalk, because that it was hard to get virtual machines at customers and have test environments and do it on your own laptop. So yeah, we started to explore Azure Cloud and using BizTalk on servers there. Then it kind of jumped over to, okay, what else can you do in Azure? Started using web apps, particularly web jobs, for building kind of microservices, small components, doing all these integration patterns.
Yes, and but like it's a whole platform that you have been building. Are you talking about your current work case, or is it from
previous?
From previous. But how did this follow you now?
Back at that company, we built a lot of integration using web jobs. We put that kind of into like a factory mode, like we had some standardized components in web jobs, and basically deliberate choice to copy paste code to new components. Thinking a bit like the pipelines in BizTalk with different steps, but we did it with web jobs and service bus. Then these services kind of matured. We built a little bit bigger systems and started to do more traditional software development. And today, ending up mostly building containerized applications, using that as like the standard way of packaging.
You say building systems for you was BizTalk.
Yeah,
which is good. It was like that's how you started to understand the fundamental of integration from back, like previous experience. Do you think that's connected to what kind of technology you use?
No, very much no. Today I see integration as like nothing particular. Integrations are often small systems that you build. So it's I would say that I take the same principles as in general software engineering to building integrations today.
I like that you call it systems, because that's what I'm trying to do. We call it systems, not integration, which is like it's really I don't hear many people. They usually say it's a solution, but you call it system because it's like isolated systems doing certain things. How the business process fits on those systems.
I mean, you can take that business process and put it using multiple microservices or integration solutions. I mean, microservices came a couple of years ago, kind of exploded. It meant that people could work in parallel, build more smaller, simpler things, and that kind of exploded what got out. But after some time, you had this problem with like how to orchestrate everything. So you just kind of moved the problem to another level.
Yeah.
So there are still problems with I mean, you solve a lot of problems using the microservices pattern, but you get new problems. And one of that is keeping track of your processes. How do they flow through all these services and
yes, exactly. That's why I might have been trying to glide with the question, but I do understand, and I because the whole podcast is called Integration Love Story. And like now we are actually discussing what's integration for you, because we see that you like integration, but like, okay, it's systems. Is it because for me it's like the whole decision making process is integration for me, and how to reflect that. I do understand also because. And I think it's too many different dimensions of the integration to reach this maturity of the solution. Like for someone, once you saw BizTalk, you thought, okay, that's how you create system because you got everything on the table there. It's there for you.
That's all we got.
That's all you got, and that's how it works.
Yeah.
It was like easy. Do you see this maturity using the designs that we are talking about now, microservices, and like using specific component in Azure? The majority that you saw in BizTalk, that it's a system. Can you still call this fully a platform if you're using one component in it?
How do you mean in like in Azure if you're using
Yeah.
that? Yeah.
Yes.
I think this kind of the what you call a platform is really you can't touch on the platforms anymore.
Yes.
It's a little bit pick and choose, and you okay that is your platform or the way we mostly build our things. The problems that a product or platform like BizTalk solved back in the days, those problems I would say does not exist anymore. Back in the days, you had flow of data going through your company in and out, and you needed one way to kind of keep control of that.
Yes.
So you put the BizTalk box in the middle, and you connect everything to BizTalk, and you have solved that problem. Now you can see all your data flows. You ended up with one box in the middle that everybody's really afraid to touch and change and all that. One technology that came along, for example, was centralized logging. So your systems could log to one place, regardless where they ran.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you could put your systems wherever you want, but you can see what they did in one place. And that basically solved the same problem as having one central platform. So I would say that centralized logging killed platforms like BizTalk.
That's an interesting perspective.
Yeah.
Actually, it's interesting. See,
But we were just in Stockholm now. We were at the integration Nordic Integration Summit, which is 2 days fully of like every integrator in Scandinavia or even farther away than that, talking about like what's next in integration in the Microsoft integration sphere, and there's a lot of discussions regarding, I mean, what we use often, like logic apps, low code tools, but there's a really big discussion regarding like low code, full code. I mean, what's your take on a low code tool like logic apps? Or any low code?
I'm using some low code tools today. Like I've used logic apps before, and today I use like N8N, which is a tool which is really AI integrated. It's really powerful to spin up like prototypes or kind of show something. The problems with most of these low code platforms is the things that you run into day 2, day 3. That you come back at them and it's a spaghetti of boxes connected, and where do I change? How does this really work? And back in the days when I had been working with system integration and BizTalk for a couple of years, I started to work at Collector Bank, which had more like a traditional, really high-end software development. So I took like the good things from system integration, being like event-driven, message-based system, loosely coupled, and met with the good practices from software engineering. And suddenly, what we talked a lot about was like unit testing, integration testing, and I was good
BizTalk developer,
integration architect, but the testing that we did at our company was like put the file in a folder and then you
see the output
in another folder.
Yeah, because the platform is doing all the heavy lifting for you, so you didn't need to worry about those.
No, but you still needed to see like is the information in my document transferred to the other format.
Yeah.
My translation, my mapping, does it do what I expect it to? Does it handle all the 100 edge cases?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
And how do you handle those today in like the pattern that you're using at the moment, or your team is using?
Yeah, so I mean, if you're writing code these days, you're doing unit testing, you're doing integration testing, and different layers, and that ensures quality. And the kind of the problem with low code platforms is that how do you like ensure quality and robustness for like mission critical production scenarios? That's
That's interesting, and I just wanted to follow up on one thing because I want to understand. Like in this in the software engineering, you have to be technology agnostic to move the like to not use a specific technology. It doesn't matter what kind of language, what kind of code. Like what I don't see in this pattern, what's missing for me is like what's the core of integration here. I think is the business process and the end user. So how can we meet the end user experience with our software without using a platform to translate what they are using, especially when it comes to integration, enterprise integration, because it can get quite complicated when you're using code. So how can we meet this need?
Yeah, and it requires I mean skilled people in doing kind of that translation. I don't really agree with that code is complicated there.
Okay.
I mean, back in the BizTalk days, I mean, we often promoted BizTalk as a standard platform. But if you took a look at like the job market in Sweden back then, and you try to find good people working with that standard platform, you say, okay, maybe we have 100 good BizTalk people in Sweden. Maybe 10, 15 are super.
Yeah. Yes, it's still a problem. It's still
it's getting bigger.
But if you take a look at doing things with like more low code or no, actually code, it's the most common work job for the male population in Sweden.
Yeah. Yes, I do agree with you. I don't get me wrong. I do agree with everything you say. I'm just trying to problematize what is like, because now I'm putting myself in your position. I'm trying to pick your brain and think with it, and then it conflicts a little bit with what my own other like side, and because I think when to use what scenarios, it's mainly that's what I'm trying to, because I think this is the correct approach for many scenarios, but while we still have to go back to the orchestration and to get to this business process, and that's where it gets a little bit complicated with approaching only with code microservices. So the combination has to get there. I don't think that we can have an answer now for that.
No, and I understand exactly what you mean, that this kind of process and that you have to visualize it for people in the business, and you can't come to them with a Visual Studio Code and this is what you get. Even these days with AI, and you can describe and draw things. It's still hard to kind of transform that picture into code or low code. So I fully get that you need that orchestration tool, and it's powerful if it's to some extent visual. But I mean, back at the bank, we had an important business process, and that was our systems need to talk to the place where the actual money is and tell it to send hundreds of millions to different bank accounts. And it did not cut it to do that with drawing lines between boxes.
Of course not.
It needed to be, when we made changes to that system, we wanted tens of thousands of green dots to light up for unit tests. And
yes, exactly. And that's, for that case, I 100% agree with you. That's how it should be. because everything had its place. I cannot use logic apps for everything.
No.
That's not good. Logic app is powerful, but it has its place. It's orchestrator. It's like but there is also other. There is musicians that plays in other instruments.
Yeah.
You cannot have the orchestration, all the orchestration choir with only the orchestrator.
But what would your advice be then, Mats, regarding? I mean, because this podcast is about like, integration. Of course, we work with these system integrations, but we often end up with this discussion, like when to use what, how should you think, and I mean, there is not only one single truth here. So, what's your take on when to use what regarding how to solve a business problem, business process
I
problem?
mean, as like an engineer, regardless if it's system integration or software, you need to have some like tools in your belt. Logic app being one, Azure Function being one, and it doesn't really matter if it's the perfectly right technology always. I mean, it is a strength to know like one technology, and 90% of the things we build fits really nice there. The last 10% we need to shoehorn into that.
Yeah.
But it's really good to have everything in one technology. So it's okay to shoehorn those 10% into it. For you working with mostly logic apps, I think it would be good to kind of learn one or two technologies next to it, put some more into the belt.
That's I like how you put it into the belt. You have like some kind of tools, and you just like pick up what you need.
I mean, even though as we said, we were at the conference now with logic apps and AI, of course, had a big part of it, but still in the same community, there's lots of people. We talk to them that is building like more of a microservices services as well. So I mean, there is not one single truth here, and it's definitely not something that you should just like. I go with logic apps, and I only go with Azure functions, but kind of how when to use
exactly.
what.
When to use what? You always have to get back to that. When to use what? And I don't have a problem actually. I when to use what, depending on the case. That's why I want also to reflect what is the case, because I end up in a lot of conversation with like saying that, oh yeah, you need to, this is the right way. No, this is the right way for you there.
In this scenario today,
Yes.
but we'll see tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. It's not the right way. There is no, you cannot say this is the right way, because it's not, there is no right or wrong, because everything works apparently. And that's why, but I like your approach, like with the tools, and it reminds me of this new agent loop that we might, the AI thing is just like you build your tools with whatever technology you have, and then orchestrate them.
I think it's really hard today with AI knowing when to use it, because it's so extremely powerful. But you have to be aware of that. You can't really use it when you want something 100%, because
Deterministic
again,
flows,
if I'm going to send my file of those 100 millions to be paid to accounts, it's not an option that in 1 out of 10,000 cases it goes wrong. There it needs to be code. But in many cases today it can be AI, because it's so easy to implement, and it will be right in enough cases. I read that someone compared it to be like the autopilot on an airplane. There is a pilot sitting next to it, and sometimes it doesn't behave as expected, and in some edge cases the pilot takes over.
Can you tell us a bit, speaking of AI, I mean, can you tell us something about a cool scenario where you've seen like real business value with AI, either within Hedin IT or somewhere else?
So we're doing a lot of automation today using AI. We use AI like the kind of integration engine. Every system that we build or have today, we try to get this MCP interface up for them. And then you just sit there at the prompt, you connect your systems to MCP, and you can put a file at your prompt and say, I need this inputted in this system, and then take the output from that system and send to the other one, and it just magically does all that. A lot of work that goes on with Excel files and such. It's not being built automated, but people are using AI there to speed things up.
It's MCP, as you are, or if you are already experimenting with MCP, it's not even. This is really new.
Yeah. So I for example, yesterday I booked my for one of our cars. We have 2 cars, so I booked a tire change for
Using MCP.
Yeah, using MCP.
What?
So I did that from ChatGPT.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's cool. So you have your own little GPTs now, and
we had a hackathon
MCPs.
here like a week ago or so, but we should definitely have a hackathon at your place.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but it also depends on how the person. It's really cool to see that. Yeah, I started to use MCPs a lot, but I'm trying to give to, but it's hard to get the message out that people should trust it, because a lot of people doesn't trust, especially the irony about that the people that doesn't trust it the most are the developers who actually should adapt it.
Yeah.
So it's how to stay curious.
Yeah.
As we talk,
A lot of things can go wrong. I mean,
exactly. So I think sometimes when we that's
are you a risky person?
No, so okay, so earlier today I tried to book tire change for our second car at home, but I sent that I wanted a time in Gothenburg, but there was something with the longitude and latitude that got wrong.
Okay.
So and the LLM did not kind of look at that. So the email I got as confirmation from the workshop was that my time was booked up in Stockholm.
So now you have to go there.
Oh yeah, that's why you have a rush now. You need to.
No, it's in 2 weeks. But things like that that humans would see, they kind of overlook. But you have to iterate there. You have to give clearer instructions next time.
Because that's what I see. I mean, we're having, as I said, I mean, what I see at the moment is that when you see like the prompts nowadays, you need to be super clear on what you want.
Yeah.
But what happens if you? I mean, that's also a skill.
No, but humans also are non-deterministic, as my colleague can say that, like our.
But what would you? How would you say that as a skill? How do you learn that skill? And is it important?
There is one skill that has been and still will be a super important skill, and that is asking the right questions. And today it's super important to write good prompts, basically. Good instructions, knowing what context to provide, and I always let the LLMs do that too. So,
did you try the Agentic Loop in Logic Apps?
No, I haven't tried that yet. I've tried many of the other.
There is one conversational. It's good. It's interesting. I think for me now, this is as close as it can be to deterministic, but I'm not sure. It's still orchestrating, but I think that Logic App may be coming closer to be more useful for such scenarios. I think.
You said centralized logging was the killer of BizTalk.
In my work.
Yeah, in your work. Yeah. But what do you see about like next step? What's killing the way we see system integration or whatever today?
Well, I mean, how we work with things right now is that we hook up the prompt to different systems, and this LLM is basically that is where we describe the business process. For example, we have a process today where we have one system where we manage all parts. I mean, that's like a wheel is a part, windshield wiper is a part. I mean, we have catalogs of millions of parts that we can fit onto cars. So that we have. Those parts, they kind of have to go through a process before we can kind of sell them individually, or we can sell them together as packages. There's lots of things that needs to be done. They need to check some values, put a price on them, publish them to the web, put them together as packages, make sure that things are. And the individual actions today are exposed as MCP endpoints. That can be a logic app, like increase the price or publish it to the web. It can be implemented as a logic app or some code, but the process today is described in steps that is sent to some kind of AI or agent. And what is so powerful about this technology is that it's not code, it's written in natural language that everybody can understand. So what you put in your version control today is first we do this, then we do this, and if this happens, you have to double check.
Yeah, that's what is.
Yeah.
I mean, we really like this discussion now, but we need to kind of round up, and we should have a new discussion regarding that. But you're talking about business processes and describing them, and I mean that's one thing that we discussed a lot as well. I mean, understand the business, understand the processes before technology, or in parallel. I don't know, but I mean, what you're talking about is that really you need to understand what's actually the business process before you can actually describe it.
Yeah.
But what would your advice be then to the next generation of system developers or system integrators? We call them tech workers.
Yeah, I mean you need to be good at some tech. You need to offer to some company or someone that you're actually good at something. You know some kind of tech, but after some time you also need to understand like where is this technology used? Is it right enough for the problems? And with AI doing so much coding today, both of kind of real code, but also in this no code or low code platforms. If you like just to write code, you're kind of worthless on the job market in quite some time, because that's
That's not going on.
You need to be interested, and say since the beginning of this conversation, like we can hear a lot of passion coming out of you from all directions towards like the technology and how it is and the curiosity around there. But like I just want to like maybe round this up was also one thing, because I really would like to have a part 2 of this conversation and like to talk more about like we take one subject and then we zoom into that subject, because I think we can have a great ideas out of that. But like you mentioned that how do you got into the technology and the integration, and you ended up on BizTalk, and that's it, and that's how you create system. But like you decided to continue working with integration. Yes, you have the role of CTO now, but like this integration have been like it's embedded in you in a way.
Yeah.
When was this moment that what is the case that made you like say I?
Well, pretty early then in my career. I mean, we had our customers were kind of big companies, and it was quite funny that having just worked for a couple of months or a year, and you're sitting there in meetings, and okay, this company it stands still if this integration is not working, and the fun thing about working what is called integration is that you're doing quite tiny things. You have important jobs, you're doing much at work, but I mean, compared to the kind of big systems that we're working, we're doing quite small things, but the effect of it is really big.
Yeah.
So it's like 1 + 1, and it's like 4. I mean, we can actually do some really cool business, get some value just by doing the connection or adding some extra, and that is what's really cool about integration. And it's also that you compared to being down in the basement writing the tasks and user stories and systems, you're closer to users. You get to understand business processes and all that much more.
Exactly. That's what made you, yeah?
One question that we forgot before we have the last question.
Yeah.
Many episodes ago, we talked about which technology or which whatever should you, if you could kill it, what would that be?
Yeah. Yes,
Do you
exactly.
have such an answer?
Technology.
Or I mean, of course, we're working in the integration space, so yeah.
Okay, so sometimes I joke these days that if someone puts XML in their resume, I just threw it out.
Okay, so kill XML.
No, XML is fine. It's a structured format, but if you put that in your resume today or last 10 years, then you're out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. If you apply for a job.
Yes. Why did I feel offended about that? I don't know. Something in me
because
broke.
XML is kind of it's a central part of integration.
I think XML is the most easy way to handle, but it's
It's okay to feel offended.
I'm dreaming nightmares about XML namespaces so many things have gone
Don't
wrong
go there.
because of that.
I was just thinking like XLT and all those things that's coming out of this kind of structure. But
So, 2 last questions, but you can choose to answer just one. Which next guest should we invite, and if you have a question to that person, what
you are allowed to invite yourself.
Okay. So I was thinking about inviting my wife here to get some other perspective on system integration. I gave up that idea.
Okay.
I think you should invite a close friend of mine, Daniel Kamczewski. He worked at Collector Bank when I started there. I came in from the system integration perspective, and he stood much for this kind of good software development perspective. So we kind of met there and learned the best from both sides. So
invite him, and what question? What do you have?
Good question. Ask him what he thinks about me.
That's good.
That's a good question.
I have one last question actually. It's another question to you.
Yeah.
You have. We had a really good conversation. I really wanted to talk about a lot of things, but I wanted to keep this conversation going on for a specific reason. It's because it's the introduction one, and I really hope that we can have more. But what kind of advice would you give to people who got the same journey and the other maybe CTOs out there? Me, one of them also. What advice would you give them when you are having this role and running business also, because you are kind of running the backbone of business? What kind of advice would you leave out there?
That's a big question. You have to keep up with what's happening in the world. Don't get stuck in things that you are technologies that you work with, you're familiar with, you like them, because things are moving. You have to put yourself in that neutral perspective where you take a look at things for what they are.
Also, not every day we meet other passionate persons like you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for inviting me here.